Hi, welcome to a complete course in calculus. This is Tadessa. In this section, we'll discuss about what is called implicit differentiation. First, let me give you a high-level definition of what do we mean by implicit. So, as you can see here, whenever we have an expression of the form y equal to 3x squared plus 5x plus 1, you see that the dependent variable is sitting by itself on the left side. And on the right side, you see only the independent variable. X is the independent variable, right? So this type of expressions, whenever the dependent variable is on one side, the independent variable is on the other side, we call it explicit expression. If you see the second expression here, you see x times y plus y squared plus 4x squared y equal to 5x minus 7. So you see the dependent variable everywhere. You see the independent variable on the left and also on the right. This type of expression is called implicit. So implicit means mixed. The independent and dependent variable are sitting on one side. That's what implicit means. So how do we find if we are given what is called implicit expression? So the technique is the same, except we call it implicit differentiation. There's no difference at all. It's exactly finding derivative. But keep in mind, whenever you see y means what? It's f of x. So every time you see y, if you want to find the derivative of y, you have to use what is called the general power rule. So what do I mean by that? For example, if you ask me, what is the derivative of x times y? Then my answer will be, oh, this is x times another function f of x or y. So in that case, I have to use product rule. So if I use product rule here, what is the derivative of x? 1 times y plus x times, what is the derivative of y? Because we don't know what y looks like, the expression y looks like, so I'll just write the notation. The derivative of y is what? Y prime. Or you can say, because y prime is dy by dx, you can use either of the two notations. Okay, good. So I'm done with the first part, this part. Let's go here. So what is y squared means? Y squared means this is nothing but f of x squared. So how do you find the derivative of this? I have to use chain rule, or in particular, you can say the general power rule. So it becomes what? 2 times f of x to the power of 2 minus 1 times the derivative of the inside, which is f prime x. Which means what? If I have y squared, it's the same thing. The derivative becomes what? 2 times y to the power of 2 minus 1 times y prime. So every time you do derivative on y, you have to multiply it by what? Y prime. Okay, same thing here. So here it becomes what now? I do have it here. It will be 2y, 2 minus 1 is 1 times y prime. Plus, let's go to the third one. Again, the third one, it is a product of 4x squared and y. I have to use a product rule. So that will give me what? 8x times y plus 4x squared times the derivative of y is what? Just y prime, equal to, what is the derivative of 5x minus 7? 5. That is how you find the derivative. Now, if you ask me, oh, I want to find just y prime, for example, I want to find just y prime. So in that case, I have to solve for y prime. So I'll say solve for y prime. So how do I solve for y prime? Collect all terms containing y prime on one side, and all the other terms should be on the other side. So in my case, I'll just keep this guy because it has y prime, xy prime, plus, again, I see y prime here, 2y prime, and I see y prime here, plus 4x squared y prime. So I'm going to move everything to the other side. I have 5. I need to move this. 1 times y is y, so it will be minus y. I see another term sitting here, xy. Okay, good. Now I'll factor y prime because my objective is to solve for y prime. So it will be x plus 2y plus 4x squared, because I'm factoring y prime equal to 5 minus y minus 8xy. So y prime will be what? How do I get y prime? Just I will divide both sides by this guy here. So y prime will be what? 5 minus y minus 8xy divided by x plus 2y plus 4x squared. So that is what exactly implicit differentiation. The point here, the takeaway from implicit differentiation should be every time you see y, it can be y or y to the power of anything. N can be any rational number, anything, whether it is multiplied with x squared, anything. You have to use product tool, quotient tool, whatever. But every time you want to find the derivative of y to the n can be 1, just like this case, have anything. The derivative becomes what? N times y to the n minus 1 times y prime. That is very important, times y prime. That is what you have to remember always. It will be n times y to the n minus 1 times y prime. If it is 1 might, like this case, for example, if it is 1 minus 1 is 0. Assume that y is different from 0. So y to the power of 0 will be 1, right? So n is 1. It will be what? Just y prime. Okay? So if it is 1, it will be 1 times y to the 1 minus 1 times y prime. This is 1 times y to the 0 times y prime. Y to the 0 is, assuming y is different from 0, it will be 1. So this guy will be what? Y prime. So if I see y, it will be y prime. Otherwise, make sure you are using the general power. Let's see an example. So another example will be, it says, find the equation of the tangent line to the graph of x squared plus 4y squared x equal to 5x squared minus 1 at x equal to 1. So the question says, when x equal to 1, at x equal to 1, I want to find the equation of the tangent line. So how do I get the equation of a tangent line? I need what is called the slope. So if I know the slope, let's say the slope is m, and then I have x equal to 1 here, I can find the y value. If it is 1, I can solve for y here. So another, whatever y value coming from this equation. Then because I have slope point, I can use point slope form, which says y minus y0 equal to m times x minus 1. I will calculate y prime, of course, from here. So this is what we call it, point slope form. So I have to find what y0 is, and then I have to calculate what the value of m is. So now, what is m? M is nothing but y prime evaluated at x equal to 1 and y equal to whatever y0 is. So if I can find the derivative and then evaluate it at x equal to n and 1 and the y value y0, then I can find the slope. So I'm done. So let's calculate the derivative. So the derivative of this guy. So let me bring it here. What is the derivative of x squared? 2x plus, now this guy is what? The product of two functions. What are the functions? 4y squared and x. What is the derivative of 4y squared? It will be 8. 4 times 2 is 8. Y prime. Don't forget that. Y prime times x, the second function, plus 4y squared times, what is the derivative of x? 1 equal to, what is the derivative of 5x squared? 10x minus, what is the derivative of 1? 0. Okay, now I can solve for y prime, or I can directly, just plug in x equal to 1, and then I'll plug what the value of y0 is, but still I need to calculate. But anyways, let's just, solve for y prime. So this is the only place where I have y prime. So I'll just keep that y prime x equal to 10x minus 2x minus 4y squared. So if I divide by 8yx, and then if I divide by 8yx, that will give me y prime equal to 10x minus 2x. By the way, this is 8x minus 4y squared divided by 8xy squared. I'm just switching them, you know, I'm writing x, it doesn't matter. Anyways, now you see 8, 4, 8. 4 is a common factor, right? So I'll factor 4, that will give me 2x minus y squared divided by 4 times 2xy. I'm factoring 4, so this cancels out. So y prime will be what? 2x minus y squared divided by 2xy. So I have, you know, the value of y prime. I need just to plug x equal to 1, and I need to find what the value of y0 is. Let's go back to the original function or expression here, and then plug in 1. So if I plug 1 square plus 4y squared times 1 equal to 1 square minus 1. So 1 square is 1 plus 4y squared equal to 1 square is 1, 5 minus 1 is 4. So if I subtract 1, 4y squared equal to 3. So y squared is what? 3 over 4. So y will be what? Plus or minus. This is solving an equation of the form x squared equal to 3 over 4. So this will be what? Square root of 3 divided by square root of 4. Square root of 4 is what? 2. So which means I have two tangent lines now. Square root of 3 over 2 and minus square root of 3 over 2. So I'll plug, you know, these numbers there. So my y prime will be what? The first one. When x equal to 1, y0 equal to root 3 over 2. That gives me what? 2 times 1 minus root 3 over 2 square is what? 3 over 4 divided by 2 times 1 times root 3 over 2. So this is 2 minus 3/4 divided by the 2 cancels out, root 3. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 3 is what? 5 over 4 divided by root 3. So the answer is 5 over 4 root 3. So now I have the slope, so the equation will be what? Y minus y0, we know it already in this case, root 3 over 2 equal to 5 over 4 root 3 times x minus 1. This is the equation of the tangent line. For the second case, you do the same thing. Instead of root 3 over 2, you just plug minus root 3 over 2. Nothing happens here because you are squaring it. It will be the same, stays the same, but you'll have a minus sign here in the denominator for the second case. So the second y0 should be 5 over minus 4 root 3. So everything stays the same. So the second line will be y minus minus, you know, root 3 over 2 equal to negative 5 over 4 root 3 x minus 1. So these are the two tangent lines at when x equal to 1 and y0 equal to plus or minus 5 over 4 root 3. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next video.